Hey guys, welcome back to Human Condition. This video is another video in our astrology series. This video is what does it mean to be an Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant. So this should be a pretty interesting one. So for an Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant, the Ascendant signs in Gemini. The Ascendant sign represents our personas and our actions. So for a Gemini Ascendant, these are the communicators, the debaters, the intellectuals, the very lit people. They are very good communications and social networking. So this suggests this person is communicative, outgoing, talkative, and intellectual. Can think deeply about things. You can find this with the sun sign. The sun sign represents self-confidence and creative expression. With an Aries, this represents passions, independence. So this suggests someone whose confidence comes from expressing what they love, their passions, and they like to express themselves. With an Aries sun, typically, usually as well. So when you combine the two, it's actually a very cool, good combination of an Aries sun and then sun signs, the moon signs, kind of like how I talked about in my other videos. So in this one, unlike the last one with Aries, felt restricted potentially, even though they didn't mind it with Taurus. This one, Aries, it's a good sign because it's a sextile relationship. So the ascendant sign, sextile, means supports the sun sign. Also, another way I interpret, this is just my opinion, with the Aries sun, Gemini ascendant, we're using the whole house system. The sun is naturally the 11th house, which kind of is like saying sun in Aquarius, sun in Aries, which I know doesn't make a lot of sense, but it means for this Aries, their self-confidence also and creative expression not only comes from their passions, but it's directed towards community and society, and almost a need for some sort of validation and to help society, because this Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant gives a lot of gives a lot of Sun and Aquarius energy, because Gemini Ascendant represents communication, intellect. So the Aries feels like it has to go through a sextile relationship, which is a good dynamic, but not quite as strong as a trine, like Aries and a Leo Ascendant, which we'll talk about later in other videos. So with this dynamic, they have to take a more persuasive, charismatic, communicative style to achieve their goals. Friendly, dynamic, unlike with the Taurus, where it's like, well, it's still friendly, but it's like a friend group. This is more like social networking and communication, persuasion, to achieve desires. And because of this dynamic of socializing and potentially persuasion, it puts the sun in the 11th house, which is Aquarius. Does a lot of Aquarius sun things, such as doing things for the greater good of society and seeking some forms of validation. And when they do this, then they feel confident enough to express their passions themselves, like a typical Aries. So kind of different from Aries Sun, Taurus, where Sun's like in the 12th house of Pisces, which means they have to rely on their friendships. This one, they don't necessarily have to rely on their friendships, but they have to rely on some sort of validation, potentially, not always, but some sort of validation, not always. This makes Aries a little less confident than the typical Aries with this combination, because again, they have to rely on at least some sort of validation to feel comfortable enough to show their Aries energy. It's seen under Aquarius Sun energy type of vibe. It's pretty cool. So in conclusion, Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant. The Ascendant sign works with our actions and our personas. So it goes kind of like Aries, Ascendant, Sun, Moon. The Ascendant is how we achieve self-confidence and creative expression through Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant. The Aries energy is pushed through Gemini, which is meaning communication, social networking, and intellectual pursuits. So for an Aries, this one, they feel more comfortable with this dynamic because Gemini forms a sextile relationship with Aries, meaning it's more of a one-sided support, meaning their persona and actions support their self-confidence and creative expression, but their self-confidence and creative expression doesn't support their actions and persona, if that makes sense. So with this aspect, the sun is in the 11th house, which is basically saying sun in Aquarius, sun in Aries. I know it doesn't sound like that makes sense, but this Sun in Aries gives off Sun in Aquarius vibes because of the Gemini Ascendant, meaning they're be less self-expressive at first than the typical Aries, like talking about their passions and their self, typically. Because Gemini is more of a trying to get someone else to talk about their own opinions and stuff at first, but once they feel like they've helped society enough, like Aquarius energy, and got enough validation, they might start showing their more independent, passionate side of what they desire in life, and showing their what they're more passionate about in life, and they're showing themselves more often. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe if you want. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.